What's up, y'all? It's your girl Sang, and today we're gonna be reacting to the video that Sam actually wanted me to react to. So if y'all remember last video, I showed his comment. He wanted me to react to the debate between Hunter Avallone and Ranting Monkey about destigmatizing pedos, essentially. That was Hunter's stance. The video that I had found, I guess that wasn't it. I guess that wasn't what he was talking about. The video I found was before the debate. So I guess that's when Ranting Monkey was talking about it. And then in that comment section, Hunter Avallone was actually in that comment. I saw all this after I shot the video. He actually was in that comment section saying, hey, do you want to come on my show and have a debate? So this is the actual debate video. We're on Hunter's channel now. Let's get into it. Also, this is over an hour long. So this is definitely about to get split into parts. So we not, because y'all know I could turn a 4-minute video into 20 minutes if I wanted to. So this is definitely about to get into parts, but let's get into it.
What's up, man? I haven't talked to you in a really long time.
No, I was telling people last night, it's been since SDA was on Lords of the Night last time we chatted. But just to get into it, because show's already started, you had a problem with my take on what you said about destigmatizing pedophilia?
Well, to be honest, I didn't really know what your take was. I didn't watch the video. I just saw that you said, Hunter Avallone says something stupid, and then the thumbnail was The Road to Hell, and I knew that it was about my my hot take, which isn't really a very hot take, on the pedophilia thing.
So hold on. Why even hop in the comment section and be like, hey man, do you want to hop on my show and debate me? And then sit here and be like, yeah, I don't really know your take. I didn't watch the video. Bro, what's the point of any of this then? If you didn't even watch his video. I would have hung up. I'm sorry. If I'm Ranting Monkey, I would have hung up because I'd have been like, bro, watch the video and call me back another time because why am I here?
And
so if you, sorry, one more thing real quickly. The reason I commented on your video, which I'm assuming is what you're talking about here, is because, well, first I tried to find a way to contact you to your email or something, and I didn't get it. I couldn't find one. So, and then I thought it would just be more productive to just kind of like come here and just talk about it. You know, talk about what you said, what you thought, and explain it, etc.
Sure. Do you want to give a primer on what you believe, what you said about the pedophilia stuff, or you want me to put it in my words?
Why don't you put it in your words first, and then I'll see if it's accurate or not.
Bro, if you would have watched the video, he literally just read your tweet. He read it word for word. So why even sit here and be like, let's hear it in your words? He read your tweet and then commented based off of what he read, which is what you wrote. Bro, I would have hung up. We wouldn't have even got this far. I would have hung up.
Sure. You said that we need to destigmatize pedophilia because by having a stigmatism on it, it makes it so people won't go get treatment for it.
What was up with the audio?
Pretty much that's correct. Although it was that I want to destigmatize the actual concept of pedophilia. I do not want to destigmatize child molestation. So that's why I talk a lot about, you've definitely heard me say non-offending pedophile, right?
What's the difference?
Sure. And a lot of these sources that you use make that distinction between pedophile and child abuser.
And if you abuse a kid, then you should, like, I've said this before too, but like I'm not really a very pro death penalty guy, but I would probably change my mind on that if you abused a kid. So like anybody acting as though my opinion is even remotely Hunter is wanting to get rid of the stigma surrounding child abuse is an absolutely delusional thing. I mean, even people in your chat right now, no such thing as a non-abusive kid diddler. True, but there's a difference between somebody that wants to molest a child and doesn't, and somebody who actually molests a child.
No, there's no. The person who hasn't done it yet just hasn't had the chance to do it, bro. They both need help. They both need help, bro. Why are you trying to make a distinction between the two? They're both the same person. They're both pedos. Like, what are you talking about?
How do you know that they're not molesting kids?
The same way that you would know any other time, really. Like, you usually would have a victim, you'd have reports, something would have to come out. I mean, it's the same way that you the same way we presume innocence until proven guilty with any.
here's the thing, it don't always come out. A lot of families actually hide whoever if the person in the family is the child abuser, families usually hide it and let it go on for generations until somebody finally just speaks up. So for him to be like, this is how we would know any other time, reports and stuff have to come out. That don't change the fact that it's happening, bro. They're still pedos. Like, what are you talking about?
Any other crime.
One of the things that you pointed to in your video about this was that sex offenders have a lower rate of recidivism than other criminals.
That's what the one article that I was looking at seemed to suggest that. But I mean, if that was incorrect, I'm fine with that.
Well, did you look into where that came from at all?
Wasn't the criminal justice stats?
It's from the the OJP, which is Justice Press something. I forget the exact acronym. But if you read the article that tells us that, it also tells us that they had a group of sexual offenders, right?
Mm-hmm.
Who were told that they would have no consequences. They just answer honestly.
Okay.
And of those people, the number of them that said that they had touched other people and never been caught was 96.7.
Wait, could you say that last part again? 96.7 was what?
96.7 of them admitted to crimes that had never been caught.
Never been caught because they're pedos.
Okay.
And it's funny, he's pulling this stat from the same article Hunter said he got his... What did I say last video? I said Hunter don't read none of the stuff he gets his stats and statistics from. He reads 1 or 2 sentences. He did this same thing with young Don. I saw him do the same thing in a debate with his wife. Bro, he don't read nothing. He be ready to jump off the deep end off of a sentence. You gotta read it. He just pulls stats from the same article.
Okay. Yeah, if you abuse a child, you've committed a crime. That's fucking disgusting.
But they didn't get
not
caught.
caught. How do you know that they're not offending?
The same. Wait, hold on. Wait. You're talking. No.
You're taking.
I need you to understand how dumb this sounds. This is like me saying, "Hey, I'm a therapist, and so somebody's in here talking to me about how they've been having really undesirable and uncomfortable urges to kill people." Well, how do you know they haven't actually killed anybody? Like, because it's innocent until proven guilty.
These are people.
What part don't you understand, bro? He's literally saying, just because somebody tells you they haven't acted doesn't mean they haven't actually acted. You don't know what they did behind closed doors. You don't. I could tell you that I've never killed an animal before. But in the reality, I could have killed an animal. I haven't. But as the example, like, bro, that's what he's saying. How do you not get that? Gonna talk about innocent till proof. No, bro. They're all. If somebody's telling you, yeah, I have these thoughts of doing X, Y, and Z, they probably did it, bro. They probably already did it, especially something that serious. We don't just sit at home and have thoughts about doing stuff with kids that's inappropriate. If you do, something wrong with you, and you probably already done it. Like,
people who admitted it.
Yes, if they admitted it, then they've admitted their guilt.
Bro, they're admitting it because the person talking to them saying, hey, there's going to be no consequences coming off of this. That's why they admitted it, because it was for the study in the article you used for your BS art. All right.
I'm talking about non-offenders.
Hang on. Wait. The way that you're saying that they're pedophiles is if they are somebody who touched one. All right. How do you know that they haven't actually touched them if they're not admitting to it and they haven't been caught?
All right, can I let me try to break this down. Okay, so
please.
First of all, there's a big difference between again, a non-offending pedophile and an offending pedophile. Okay?
No, it's
not. So that's the first thing that I really want to keep on hammering that down. The second thing is that a lot of child molesters are not actually pedophiles, which is another really confusing concept for a lot of people to understand, and I don't blame them. But it's because pedophile is used interchangeably, right, with child abuser, essentially. And we need to distinguish that pedophilia specifically refers to the paraphilia of being attracted to children, that sexual attractions to children are disgusting and wrong, and that they need help to prevent them from actually harming somebody. Now, If you have already harmed a child, then you are a criminal and you need to go to jail, probably for life, and maybe get the chair. But we want to prevent that from happening first. Would you not agree with that?
Oh, I'm all for prevention. But I don't understand how you're just taking them at their word at being non-offending. That's where we start here. I don't understand how you're like, well, they say they're non-offending,
well,
right?
What,
So
what,
they're
what do you
non-offending?
suggest we do then? Do you think that it's just guilty till proven innocent only for pedophiles?
No, I say if they are pedophiles, you keep them away from children.
Sure, I would agree
If
with
you
that.
can't
That would
prove
most
it,
likely
then you
be
just keep them away from children. Let me ask you this.
Yeah, wait.
And
That's part of the
hang
treatment.
on,
Yes.
Wait. In my thing, I asked this question to you. You said you didn't watch it, so you're here live. Let me ask you. Somebody comes to you. They're in therapy, and they are a non-offending pedophile. Would you let them watch your child?
Why does everybody ask this question?
It's because you
No,
have a
I
child.
wouldn't. But what does that have to do with
Because
literally
you're fighting
anything?
so
Why not?
hard for
They're
it.
non-offending.
Because I know that they'd be attracted to my children, and that's creepy.
So,
How do you
But
know
they're
your kids are that
non-offending.
attractive?
God damn it.
I mean, pedophiles have a type. They're like anyone else. They have a specific target.
That's wild. He's fighting for this so hard, and it's like, all right, you let your child. I said that in the last video. I was like, I guarantee you, he gonna say no. He said no. Of course you wouldn't, cause they're a pedophile. And then to sit here and be like, yeah, cause they have an attraction to my child, and I think that's creepy, right? Cause they're a pedo, bro. There's so much that has to go into like fixing this whole thing, because usually when people are into children, it starts when they're a child, right? Either they got abused or something's already messed up here, which leads them to just randomly abusing other kids while they're a kid. But that's what happened. It has to get caught during this stage. You know how hard that is to catch? And you know how, like I said, when families try to keep things secret and in-house because that's embarrassing, blah, 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 that has to stop. There's so much that has to happen for this to stop being a thing. He thinks just a random adult that's just like, yeah, you know, I think about kids and doing things to kids, but I haven't done it yet. haven't done it yet. I'm non-offending. And then go sit right here and be like, no, I wouldn't let a non-offending person watch my kids. It's, bruh, this conversation would have been over. Why is this an hour long?
Get demographic. So some pedophiles are attracted to white kids, some are attracted to black kids, some are attracted to blondes. They have a type. So how do you know that it's unsafe for a non-offending pedophile to watch your kid?
That would be unsafe. The same way that somebody who has some mental illness where they're really tempted to steal shouldn't be put in charge of watching your store. What do you mean?
Wouldn't you say
This is the
what you're
problem here.
doing
Is
is
what
best?
But you're fighting for it. You're fighting for it, Hunter. How you fighting for something you wouldn't even let them watch your kids, though? But you're fighting for it. This is why you sound goofy with this. This is why you apparently went on a whole blocking spree of people getting on you, because you sound goofy, bro. You're willing to die on a hill that makes no sense to die on. Let it go. Just let it go.
What I'm saying- hold on, wait. What I'm seeing the problem here is
hang
I'm
on.
seeing-
Let me ask this. Aren't you stigmatizing them
How so?
by saying that you wouldn't let them watch your child?
You don't know what I mean when I say destigmatize, clearly. I'm not talking about normalizing anything.
No, actually, I have
I'm talking
questions
about
about that, I
reducing
really do.
a current stigma that exists, so
Yeah.
much so
Yeah.
that it's
Yeah.
more socially acceptable for these people to seek out help and therapy, which again
Yeah.
has empirically been demonstrated to lower child abuse.
Yeah, and if they're getting help and therapy, yet you won't let them watch your children because you're stigmatizing them because you think they're unsafe. And you think they're unsafe because you think they're going to F your kid while you're gone. You sound goofy, bro. You sound goofy.
No, it hasn't.
Yes, it has.
Where?
The studies that I mentioned, the varying degrees of studies. I have another study that I can bring you up.
Wait. The studies you mentioned, most
The
of them don't
study
say
you didn't
anything about
read?
it other than we think this is what happens.
There
The
are
closest
studies
you ever
literally
came-
interviewing people who have these proclivities, who have admitted that one of the biggest reasons that they didn't seek out help was due to the stigma. Yes, we know this.
Did
No, but
you
your-
read
your
that? Or is
contention
that the
there is
first
then
sentence?
if they did get into therapy, then they
Come
would
on.
stop. They wouldn't touch children, right?
Not that they wouldn't, but that it would lower the likelihood that they would.
Okay, how low does the stigma have to be?
The same way that a stigma exists right now around any other form of mental illness, like think of schizophrenia, for example. For a long time, what it meant to be schizophrenia was kind of, or schizophrenic was kind of synonymous with like, you hear creepy voices in your head and you want to murder everybody. And now it's moved away from that. It's still stigmatized to the point that, hey, if somebody's schizophrenic, we know that's bad. We don't want that to be the case. We don't encourage it. We don't worship them for being schizophrenic. No, we recognize that it's bad, but that because it is bad, it needs treatment and they need to get help. That's the big difference here. And honestly, I'm seeing it even in your chat right now. Oh, the best cure for a pedophile is a bullet in the head, LOL. Okay, so unless we're going to go your route of guilty until proven innocent and just basically Holocaust everybody who we suspect might be a pedophile, that is an untangible way to actually reduce child abuse.
But in your way to work, you use Germany a lot in your.
Why do you think that? Wait. You're saying like my way to work. I was citing different studies. I'm gonna go ahead and pull them up, I guess. But I
still have them all up.
Bro, did you read them?
Unlike you, I read through all of them. There was a great part.
Thank you. I'm so glad he said that. I'm so glad Ranting Monkey said, unlike you, I read all of them. Thank you, because he tried to pull some. Hunter tried to pull some stuff earlier. And Ranting Monkey was like, did you actually read it? Because if you read it, it goes on to say X, Y, and Z. And he didn't even know. Because he don't read the stuff he uses for the hills he be dying on.
In your video, where you skip the guy saying that being attracted to kids isn't in and of itself a bad thing. You did it twice while you were reading it. Funny as fuck that you skipped that.
Well, then I would disagree with that. What does that have to do with anything?
You did, but why didn't you read it? Why didn't you read the guy who's doing this saying that part? Where
Which
he's saying
part?
It's
Which
not
one was
actually
this
a
on?
bad.
Which
Yeah,
study
let
was
me
it?
find the study. Which one was it? Because I have a bunch of them open. I read all of them.
This is so funny. Look at the difference in chats, right? His chat is literally why pedophiles don't get help. No, pedophiles, I mean, if they're that scared, they need to get help, period. Did this RTAR just compare schizophrenia to pedophilia? How many times did your mother... Ooh, okay, I'm not going to read the rest of that. That's mean. And I'm a good Christian now. Treatment doesn't work for everything. Meds and talking it out don't make a pedo a non-pedo. Facts. Negative reinforcement, taste them. Stigmatized, aka they need help and shouldn't be left on the streets to... Ooh. Okay. Alright, well. Then we empty the 22 in the back of the... Woo! Woo-hoo! Woo! Monkey's chat is like, they're on 10. And his chat is just a bunch of soy boys. Because it's funny, the difference in chats.
Let's see. This was the pedophilia and child sexual abuse are two different things. Confusing them is harmful to children. And he says, consider the following. Many people with pedophilia hate their desires, do not act on them for moral reasons, and should therefore plausibly be praised rather than vilified, which you also skipped.
So you realize what that's saying, though. Like, I don't really agree with that, but certainly you recognize that they don't mean they should be praised for being a pedophile. They mean that it's a good thing that they are resisting these negative
children.
No,
Yeah.
it's that they are.
Yeah, that's what this means.
Can you let me talk, buddy? Hey,
these people don't look at studies. This is like literally from Hunter's chat. Hunter doesn't look at his studies. This guy is calling him out on everything he didn't read. Alright, let me stop looking at the chat.
Be quiet, children. Ranting Monkey. You're not the only one ranting here, okay? So, again,
I'm sorry,
it's not just
please.
It's that they are resisting these harmful urges, and that is a good thing. But saying they should be praised is no, I don't agree with that.
They do not act on them for moral reasons and should therefore plausibly be praised. What he's saying there is they should be praised for not having sex with children. That shouldn't be something you're praised for. That should be expected.
Sure.
It goes on to say, and yet often do not seek treatment precisely because they are aware that people in general cannot seem to tell the difference between A, feeling involuntarily sexually attracted to young children, not wrong in and of itself, and molesting or sexually assaulting children, very wrong in and of itself, no matter the reason. You don't have a problem with using a study from a guy who doesn't think it's wrong to, think about.
Do you
banging
understand the
kids.
difference between reading like a study and agreeing with the overall conclusion, but recognizing there are certain elements there that you don't agree with? So, for example, like, no, I don't think that anybody should be being praised for not molesting a kid. And no, I don't think that it's not wrong in and of itself as far as feeling involuntarily sexually attracted to young children. But I mean, again, that is like a red herring almost. You're hanging
How's it a
on.
red herring?
Yes, because you're hanging on to these little side points while ignoring the overall point that I was making. Okay? I didn't say, here's my sole study that defends what I'm saying, so therefore
no.
everything it says is correct. Listen, it's very simple. We can reduce stigma while still keeping stigma. This has happened multiple times with varying different things, with mental illness specifically. We can reduce a stigma so much so that people who have these immoral and dangerous attractions can get help. So I think that we're probably, let me try to find common ground here. Are we on the same page that if somebody is actually involuntarily attracted to children, that they should seek treatment and help immediately and stay the fuck away from kids?
I think they should stay the
attracted?
fuck away from kids. Do they need treatment? I would prefer it if they got it. But if they just kept it to themselves, why would we know? You're wanting to make it so we know.
No, I'm not. I'm wanting
Which
to make
is
it so that
fine,
they're
'cause
comfortable talking
I'm
to
fine
therapists
with
about this and
putting
seeking
a
out the
scarlet
help.
P on them.
First of all, if the goal is just to get them, a therapist's job is not to judge you regardless. So they can go get help and talk to a therapist. We don't need to know. Like, I don't need to know what you're doing. You know when I need to know? If it's actually happening within my vicinity of my house or my family or something. That's when I need to know. If you're just a stranger, I don't know you, and I literally don't know who you are, and you have these thoughts in your house, why would I need to know? Just go to a therapist and get help. Like, that's literally their job, is not to judge you. There's literally everything he's talking about with mental health and everything. There's literally people with mental health problems, serial killers, all this. Go talk to therapists. The therapist's job is to be confidential. The only time they talk to police is if they need to talk to police. So in his case, where he's talking about people that have these thoughts but haven't done anything yet, a therapist isn't going to say anything to anybody because that's their job. So I don't know why he's making it to where like the whole world needs to know and be okay with it for people to get help. They could just go get the help. If they're scared to go talk to a therapist, it's because they've already done something and they know the therapist is going to go tell a police and make that report and they're going to go to jail. So I still don't get what he's saying.
Fine with people being able to seek therapy for this and
They
being
can
able.
seek therapy for it.
No, right now the way the stigma is, because it's so extreme with people like you and your audience who don't seem to be understanding the difference here between like non-offenders and offenders, then you literally have people avoiding seeking therapy. And again, I cited this in my video too. It is a criminological fact that if you are in a place of loneliness and isolation and you feel like a complete social outcast, you're in a place where you feel like you have nothing left to lose. That is the worst place for a pedophile to be. Because if they feel like they have nothing else to lose, what is going to stop them from fucking harming a kid? We should...
I mean, or they're just going to off themselves. Like, what you just described, if you have nobody to talk to and you're that down in the dumps and you have nothing else to lose, a lot of times they just off themselves. I mean, if a pedophile is going to off themselves, I'm cool with that. If they do that before touching a kid, hey, at least the kid didn't get hurt. I'm actually okay with that. Like, but what he's saying doesn't make any sense. Like I just said, if you haven't done anything and you're just having these thoughts and you want to get treatment, a therapist isn't going to tell anybody because you haven't done anything. Like, you could literally go get help.
We should prevent this before it escalates to that.
Hang on, let Jack go. Go ahead, Jack.
You keep talking about seeking therapy. What would...
Here, somebody in his own chat said therapists don't post their patients' problems on the internet. Like, WTF. That's what I just said. This is Hunter's chat. This is Hunter's chat saying that. Alright, well...
the end goal be for your therapy here?
So there are different kind of medications and therapies that pedophiles can undergo that can significantly help. There's libido-reducing medications. There are
Chemical castration.
SRIs, and there's also a thing called empathy training, which essentially reprograms these people through therapy to understand and to prioritize or I guess prioritize empathy for a supposed or potential victim, right? So a lot of the times it's fucked up. Pedophiles will almost delude themselves into believing that the child is interested in them. It's fucking disgusting. So this therapy helps to retrain their brain and say, no, that's bullshit. You need to have empathy for other people, and acting on these desires is harmful and wrong because of X, Y, and Z. That combined with medication can be really productive. That can actually be helpful.
Do you think they don't believe already that it's wrong? Because your studies say that they do.
Some of them
they already
do,
know it's wrong.
Yeah.
So then your treatment is to teach them it's wrong when they already know it's wrong?
Wait, I think I'm not following there. What is wrong?
You said it teaches them that it's wrong to do this.
No, to prioritize. Okay, sure. Oh my God. Okay. To prioritize empathy.
I'm sorry, I used logic. I didn't mean to confuse you.
No, you're not using logic. You're being super bad faith, twisting everything I'm saying, and it's actually embarrassing that I used to even be friends with you. So again, listen, what I'm talking about is to teach them. I said for some pedophiles, it is fucked up that they think children are attracted to them. Some of this therapy can help them realize that no matter what, it is wrong.
Stop right there. Okay. You don't think they think it's wrong even if the child is attracted to them?
Whether they do or not, it's
in their mind,
the therapy ultimately focuses on priority.
They know it's wrong?
I would assume that most of them would think it was wrong. But again, the therapy is not just, hey, this is bad, LOL, because you're right, they already know that. The therapy is helping them to prioritize empathy for other people. They might know it's wrong, but still give in to those urges. That is fucked up and disgusting. Prioritizing empathy can prevent that from happening.
Now, not everybody is capable of empathy. So what if this therapy does not work? What do you do then?
Well, if it's literally unable to work and there's no way to get these people, to a state where it's very unlikely they would harm somebody, I genuinely, at that point, I don't know. Maybe like a mental institution, unironically. Like, if you are attracted to children and you also are unable to feel empathy, like if you're like a psychopath and also a pedophile, then yeah, I think that you should probably be in an institution at that point, because there is no way to train you to not be this way, and you're just too much of a threat to society and to children.
But if you're a non-offending pedophile who's also a psychopath who can't feel empathy, you can't just lock them up. They haven't committed a crime.
Maybe not lock them up, but if they are like psychopaths, then yeah, you would probably be able to, I don't know. You're kind of right. You probably couldn't like just throw them in an institution. I'm not sure exactly what the technical procedure would be for handling something like that. But I guess what I would want to see is if it was sure that these people were actual pedophiles and actual sociopaths and they were dangerous, then there would have to be some way to keep them restricted from general society. But I guess I'd have to look into the like initial or technical procedures for that. But I feel like that's still really a side of the point. Like, if you have an individual who is attracted to children, and they have two options here, which is either give in to their urges, or actually three options: suppress it, give in to their urges, or seek therapy. The best one is for them to seek therapy.
They can already seek therapy if they haven't touched anybody yet. Like that, there's nothing stopping them from doing that. You know what this reminds me of? There was a caller that called in on the Dave Ramsey show. It had nothing to do with finances either, because that's what Dave Ramsey has turned into nowadays. Basically, this guy called in. He said he didn't know what to do. He said his best friend worked in a kindergarten facility, or he was a kindergarten teacher or a daycare teacher, something like that. He worked with very small children. Let's just leave it there. And he said he didn't know what to do because when he was at his friend's house, he noticed that his friend watched child porn. Like, it wasn't his and he didn't film it, but it was like in his search history. I don't know how they came. I don't really remember how they came about that. But he said his friend had that, and he kind of looked over at his friend and was like, "Do you want to explain this?" And his friend was like, "I don't know what's wrong with me. I keep having these thoughts, but I swear I haven't done anything yet." So the guy calling into Dave Ramsey was like, what do I do with this information? Because he works with small children. That's his day job. But I also don't want him to go to jail for like watching it, because if he's not doing anything. And Dave's whole thing was like, if you truly believe he hasn't done anything, you have to still tell somebody because he's working with young kids. And having those type of thoughts, those kids are technically in danger. So something there needs to happen. And you need to at least get with him first and be like, hey man, if you don't quit or go on a break or get into therapy or something, like, I'm gonna tell your job like what's going on, because then you know you really messed up. So that was kind of his thing. This is what this is kind of reminding me of, because he keeps saying it needs to be destigmatized for people to go get therapy. They can really just go get therapy. It's open. If you claim you haven't done anything, like I said, if you've done something, that therapist is going to tell on you. And that's probably why, because a lot of people know socially that's not acceptable. So they know it's wrong. And we're not about to socially make it acceptable so they can feel better about themselves and get help. Because it's not right. Like, they need to just go get help, regardless. Like, you know it's wrong, just go get help.
Because my solution is let them go to therapy so that we can work on preventing this from happening. A lot of the people here, I'm not going to say this is you, but people that are in your chat who seem to be incredibly stupid. I'm actually shocked how many brain dead people are conglomerated into one spot. But again, the way, hold on, wait. I'm finishing making my point, please. Let me finish making my point, please. So finally, what? Here's the problem here, dude.
Hunter,
hey,
hang on. No, let him. You've had a ton of time.
I was trying to make my point, and you cut me off midway.
Bro, you can't dog out the dude's chat and then try to act like you didn't say that and go make a point and be like, hey, I was trying to make a point. You just called this whole chat stupid. He was like, yeah, they're all brain dead. I can't believe so many brain dead people are in one spot. But, you know, like I was saying, it's like you can't just say that and think Ranting Monkey and Jack is just gonna be like, I mean, yeah, he right. Let's let him get the point off before we say anything. Bro, of course they're gonna cut you off. You would do the same thing if they just ripped your chat in half.
No, I'm cutting you off for a different reason. It's really insulting to come on someone's show and insult their audience. It's very disrespectful.
Okay, well, you can go back to your safe space and cry about it, but we're big boys here and we can handle it. So what I'm saying again is that for the people that are saying, just lock them up or what.
You can go to your safe space and cry about it. Bruh, they haven't said one thing about your chat. They got you using your own studies that you didn't read, got you on a bunch of stuff, and your hit back is, your chat is stupid. Yo! Alright, oh man, we're already 32 minutes in. I'm only 19 minutes in this video. I don't even know if I'm gonna finish this. But this will be part one. This will be part one. And I'm gonna come back. We gonna come back in part two.